So you're gonna put 60 gallon?
60 gallon.
30 and 30.
Come on, guys.
Ready to go.
We're ready to go.
That's just 20.
22 años.
22 years later.
In French, I'll say
22,
English, and you say Brad.
22 ans. Voilà. En chinois, je sais pas. I don't know in Chinese. Something.
The plane's the same.
It's the same. The people are the same. We're younger than before. It's not better than before. At least for some people, like myself. You know, that time I. So, well, let's go.
We just have new hair
All right.
colors.
Okay, boss?
Okay.
Bosses?
We go.
We're ready.
Nineteen 1989 was marked with events memorable to the world, and specifically to the people of the San Francisco Bay Area. For San Franciscans, a World Series game was held at Candlestick between local rivals, the Oakland A's and the San Francisco Giants. During this historic game, a 7.1 earthquake rocked from Santa Cruz to San Francisco, causing a swath of destruction.
I'll tell you what, we're having an earth.
The world saw the Berlin Wall come down, and the massacre at Tiananmen Square. And on a personal level, on August 2nd, San Francisco Bay Area resident Pierre Etcheverry fulfilled his dream to fly his twin-engine Cessna from San Francisco to Biarritz, France, and back. There were hours and hours of just white cover in front of them. Pilot and co-pilot were kept busy checking their bearings, logging information, and contacting towers. Pierre,
Yes.
what sparked your interest in flying?
What made me interested in flying? I think that's what happened when I was born, really. You know, I mean, I really liked it. Always looking at, I remember living in a farm in France and hearing these airplanes flying overhead at 40,000 feet or whatever. And I would look at them, you know, from start to where they would disappear, and I was fascinated by airplanes.
Oakland ground check at 2856 Alpha at Beckett with hotel. Taxi for takeoff.
Cherokee 56 Alpha, Oakland ground taxi runway 27 right at Bravo.
56 Alpha, roger.
childhood dream then?
Basically, yes, yes. Two things I wanted to do as a child when I would grow up were flying and truck driver.
You want to be a truck driver?
I liked. I don't know. Even over here, when I came over here, I wanted to drive a truck, a big truck, you know, and it never happened.
Do you have a memorable experience of your time as a first-time pilot?
My well, my first touch and goes, but by myself. You know, when Sam just told me, here, I'm getting out of here, this airplane, now you do your touch and goes yourself. And the feeling of flying by myself, there was nobody next to me, and it was awesome. I'll never forget it.
So how long had you been flying when you decided to fly to France in your Cessna? So if you said late 70s?
I would say 6, 7 years at least.
Okay.
Yeah. And when we decided to go to France.
And so this idea was in the back of your mind for a long time to fly to France.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that, you know, but I didn't. It was hard for me to ask Alan, you know, to do something like that, because after all, it's a long trip, and it's a lot of that time is over water and all that. So one way I was kind of afraid, and but then I had quite a few hours of flying already with Alan, and he gave me a lot of
encouragement.
Encouragement, the way he was treating me, the way he was flying, the way, and so that's when I decided, hey, let me ask him and see what he says.
And what did Alan say?
Well, to save face, I had to say yes.
To save face?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, when you're a young pilot, you're young and what they call bold, and everything is in your eyes possible. So, of course, where I was a new instructor and I was supposed to know aviation, so of course I said yes.
And I liked the way when I asked him, when I told him, Al, let's go to France, and Al's answer was, okay.
Okay, out of fear or shock?
I'm going to remember that. Okay.
No discussion.
No.
Okay. So what kind of preparations are different for such a long flight compared to the flights you would normally take for your own pleasure?
Flight itself is a series of relatively short legs, say 400 to 500 miles, and each segment is not that difficult, but if there's an interruption from A to B, then it gets very serious. So being very careful with the weather reports, trying to not do anything stupid, and at that time it was hard to get information.
You said that it would be easier this time around if you were to do it a second go around because of technology?
Yes, technology, positive navigation, you know where you are at all times, constant communication. And in our first trip we would have to talk with, on the emergency van, with airliners overhead, and they would relay requests and whatnot. But nowadays with a satellite phone you can talk to whoever you want any time of day. So there was, you were on your own quite a bit. So,
were there moments where either of you were anxious, or did you have those moments between point A and point B where you didn't know where you were, or you made a mistake?
That flight was, as you leave the shoreline, it's called coast out. It was very positive navigation for the first, let's say, 200 miles. After that, you had to rely on Lorraine, a ground-based station. And then we lost all navigation, and it was just what they call dead reckoning. You would fly for an hour, make a calculated position report, fly another hour, make a new calculated position report, and ultimately, when you got to the far coast, you were hoping to be where you said you would be. And that was probably one of our major things is let's not embarrass ourselves. So let's be where we said we'd be. So.
Were you always, Pierre, where you were supposed to be?
We, except for once. Once we were not exactly sure where we were, and but everything came together.
Quite a few hours of flight where it was, you know, kind of rule of thumb and asking other people to relay messages. And just like the Spirit of St. Louis, he didn't know where he was. He had an idea, so you know, actually showing up after that long a flight, a monumental feat. Ours was a lot smaller, but it was still.
It felt monumental to you, didn't it?
This is true.
However, their sole passenger in the back had no on-flight movies, magazines, or stewardesses to keep him busy. And with nothing to see from the window except white cloud cover, what did Jean Paul do for hours on end?
Well, I spend the time, I bring with me a few books, and then I got a little cassette at the time, you know, work, you know, how you call that,
A Walkman?
A Walkman. And, but after a while, you know, I was kind of tired to listen to the same music all the time. Then sometimes I sleep, and most of the time I used to sleep. And the first couple of days, not. But then I find out something very easy to do. I try to play at night, stay in the bar, and sleep in the day. So Pierre, of course, he see me come in sometime at 2 o'clock in the morning or even late. And, you know, and then in the day I was sleeping. I was just sleeping. I got a 2 bottles of scotch, black label, please. And I take care of that very well in 1 month. And I guess that's it. It was not too much to do except look into Pierre and Al, I'm sorry. You know, Pierre is a nice guy, but you know, to have a smile from here is kind of difficult sometimes. And he was, of course, when he's doing business with a plane. And I see Pierre was scratching his mustache like this. I say, everything's okay. And then, because I don't know nothing. And then sometimes we hear some noise, so say, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. And who knows what's going on anyhow. But that's it. And, you know, it was a long time, take a long time, but sometimes it was pretty long. Like I think the maximum we do was about 6 hours, if I recall, I can have that prepare again. And then if it was kind of not really very long distance, you know, I think it's 4 hours, 5 hours, sometimes a couple hours. And, you know, we jump, bing, 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 and like this. But it was not too much to do in the plane, yeah, that's for sure. And just wait, be patient. And to be patient for me, well, I don't have no choice, so that's it.
I would think this is your first overseas flight.
The big trip.
The big trip.
Across the pond, as they say.
With the CESSNA, as compared to a jetliner, the trips that you take, you know, on your yearly basis to France, a whole different experience.
Yeah, and one way these hourly reports, which we had to do, helped us quite a bit, I think. And this way, we knew that somebody knew where we were, you know. And but I was never really afraid of not making it or whatever. No, I was, you know, I think it was a good trip, and it was, I think, as far as I'm concerned, it was safe.
Were there any anxious moments?
Anxious moments, yes. Quite a bit, matter of fact. Like I say, I was a guest, so and the back. You know, it's same thing if somebody take you a motorcycle. You know, if you don't drive the motorcycle, you're in the back or even in the car. You know, it's different than if you can control yourself of the machine or vehicle. And it was kind of same thing for me with the plane. And then in the back, of course, by myself. Yeah, sometimes it was pretty scary because, like I said, some noise come in, and the noise of the engine, and it was in my head because you know I was mechanic myself too, so I know the running engine. Whoa. And sometimes we go in the air pocket, so what's going on? You know, I'm kind of scared of that. But when I see Pierre, you know, and Alan, they were smiling, so I said, well, I guess everything is in control. And I trust Pierre and Alan, you know, 100%. So it was no problem in that. But still, you know, inside of me, so the planes go left and go right and up and down, and whoop, suddenly, you know. But you know, I was 38 years old. I didn't care. You know, I was, but still, sometimes I got scared.
Can you describe the flight path?
The northern route.
The northern route.
Which has shorter legs.
Okay.
Because our aircraft wasn't actually tanked. It had no extended range. So you had to take the northern route to make it possible from A to B.
Oakland to Scottsbluff, Nebraska. And then across Wisconsin.
Along your route going over, what about other stops? Were there any other stops that were interesting, memorable to you?
I would say Oshkosh was one.
Yes, the premier what do you call it, aviation event for home builders, and that was fun. So I told Pierre about it, and since it was on our flight path, we took a day off and saw that, and that was fun.
There were a lot of stops along the way. Which ones were the most memorable?
Well, a lot of stops, yes. I think it was like 10 to 12 or something like that. Yeah, at least probably 2 times the same thing. The most memorable, the best one was for me was when we stopped in Minnesota, and then we go to Wisconsin, Oshkosh. So we take a cab with Pierre and Alan, and we go to Oshkosh. That's a wonderful place for the
Air show?
The air show. It's one of the biggest in the world, I think so. Sometimes they take, that's why I heard they take 1 week to bring people from everywhere in the world, and take another 1 week to everybody to leave the place. I mean, it's a huge place. It's a huge, you got everything you want a show about plane from everywhere in the world. And it was very, very, very interesting. And the museum was very interesting too, to see the spirit of Saint Louis and all that stuff. So it was very, very interesting.
T'as l'air très sérieux.
Hein? Qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
Et si on ne peut pas atterrir là-bas, qu'est-ce qu'on va faire?
On rentre à Oakland.
Il faut aller faire un tour en France d'abord.
Non, là, si tu veux vraiment arriver à quelque part, tu y arrives.
Ouais. C'est marrant, je pensais jamais qu'il y aurait quand même des réservations, tu te rends compte?
Ah ouais.
Putain.
Bah, c'est seulement à cause de Oshkosh, là, tu sais.
Ils font ça jusque la semaine?
Cette semaine, oui. Ouais. Après c'est fini, Oshkosh c'est fini.
Syracuse, New York. And Quebec City.
And I think another time I was kind of a bit scared, at least anxious, when we arrived to Quebec. And Quebec, Pierre nicely told me, well, we have to stop, but we have to fix it. We got one alternator is not working. I said, oh, macro. One alternator is not working to recharge. And I said, oh, no, but you told me that like it's nothing special. I said, well, if you don't scare, I guess I can be relaxed too. And like I say one more time, I was really trusting this guy. When I arrived to Quebec, Pierre and Alan, they got out with the passport, you know, they go to the airport. I got two police, one woman and a man, policeman. They told me, follow me. I said, what I do wrong? You know, I got my green card. I was not, at that time, American citizen. Now I'm American citizen. But at that time, I was just my green card and my French passport. So when I arrived to the airport, oh my God, so what? I mean, I was feeling comfortable, I had nothing to hide anyhow. So they say, do you speak English? I say, yeah, but je parle français mieux, I speak French better. Oh, vous parlez français? Ah, ben, je pense bien, alors il faut parler français, you have to speak French. So, of course, it was more easy for me. And then they were very, very nice. The only thing, I guess they do have a control of the border between Europe and United States, I guess, in Canada. So because I was French, they want to be sure if I was not, maybe they look for me in France or something like this, and they gave me my French passport right away, and everything was nice. We checked in, and it was wonderful. Very nice people, by the way, in Canada. So we stayed over there a couple of days, if I remember. Same thing. We go best restaurant, the best Fontenac, the chateau. I mean everything the best with Pierre. Thank you, Pierre, by the way. And it was great. It was great. And then Pierre, of course, he go in bed pretty early. 30 years old, I was wild, believe me. So I go in the bar until 2 o'clock in the morning by myself. And luckily, I speak French, so it was easy for me to make contact with people. And that's it. And of course, in the morning we have to wake up early. So I gotta start to have my hangover. Not really, but sometimes, yeah, that's why I sleep a lot in the plane.
J'ai laissé mon cœur à Québec et depuis je peux rien faire avec. Sur les bords du Grand Saint-Laurent, j'ai laissé mes tourments. J'ai laissé
Sept-Îles, Québec. Schefferville. Iqaluit.
Which is where?
That's the Northern Territories, up in Upper Canada, let's call it.
When we landed in Iqaluit, it was funny. There was a day when the Inuits who lived there were getting their independence from Quebec.
They were declared independent?
Officially, yeah. And because of that, there were too many people in Iqaluit, and there was no space for us to stay. You know, all the hotels. Well, the hotels. I mean, there are no hotels, but they call them.
All 10 rooms were full. Yeah, all 10 rooms were
so
full.
we from there we stayed there for a little while, and then we flew to Sundström,
Which is in
Greenland.
Greenland.
And
joint
then,
U.S.-Danish air base.
And then you have Reykjavik. Shannon.
then we arrived in Shannon. Pierre, like I say, you know, he was first class. I have to say, you know, he always, if we can, he buy you know, best room. You know, I have to say that. And then we arrived in China, and it was beautiful little castle hotel. I mean, really a castle. I mean, first class. You know, I never sleep in a place like this before. I think so in my life. So anyhow, and then we stop over there, and we go for dinner, and I put my two suitcases on top of the bed, and then after that it was bank holiday. I remember it was a bank holiday. It's a holiday in Ireland. So I say, well, go to the bar again. Pierre and Ali say, well, we go to bed. Okay. I got my own room. Eh? I think so that time he paid $400 $500 anyhow. And then I go back to the bar, and of course girls and boys and nice people. We talk about rugby. We got a pair of beer like this. Of course I got back. I think it was just in the morning. Pierre was just getting, where are you? We're waiting for you. I don't even open the damn bed. So just pick up the suitcase and go to the plane again and sleep all the way to Biarritz. And then when we arrive in Biarritz, of course, my Basque country, I'm home.
Coming up, you know, from Shannon, and we get very close to France, and all of a sudden the controller comes up and says, "This is breast control." Yeah. that meant that we were over Brittany, you know, and this is breast control. And then Alan says, "Holy mackerel, I like this place already."
A thrilling climaxes to their trip was approximately 20 miles from the destination, Biarritz. We lost communications with the approach controllers. And finally, in desperation, we thought we were flying into by the airspace, it would be identical to San Francisco, that scope, you know, many aircraft operations. So the approach controller quit talking to us, and when we finally contacted the tower, he said, "How high are you and how far?" And we says, we're 5 miles away at 5,000 feet. And they pretty much didn't believe us. I said, "Yes, we are." And we made a very steep landing, and because we didn't want to, we were in the clouds, so we couldn't see our destination. So we made a very steep approach and said, "Let's land the first time." And we did, and we were happy.
And Biarritz.
Finally Biarritz.
And that was a good stop.
And that was a good stop. How did you feel when you landed in Biarritz?
It was great. It was great.
Feeling of accomplishment?
Yeah, yeah.
Were you tired?
Not too many pilots have done that, you know. I mean, there are few, well, the percentage might be what, 10% maybe, not even, of the pilots.
I wouldn't think that many.
No.
And you landed in the Basque Country of all places for the first time. It wasn't even Paris. It was among the Basques.
And if I remember, things I do like the Pope. I don't go on the ground and I kiss the ground. And then it was funny because I got a lot of friends of mine. They were waiting for me, and some of my family, and a lot of friends. They wait for me. Aran Saliak, the singers, Pascal Ondars, and so many people. And the good part too, it was the costume guy. It was Gonzalez Bernard, friend of mine who used to go in school with me, and when we used to be kids. He was a costume. So I said, "What, do you want me to open?" "Oh, you're kidding." So he hugged me and said, "Oh, well, welcome." I don't see this guy maybe before he was almost 30 years. So lucky in one way. So it was, everything was nice. And of course after that in Biarritz and the Basque Country, that's another story.
Can you talk a little bit about your stay in France? Especially you, was it your first time in France?
It was, yes. Yes.
Don't say anything bad, okay?
Oh, no.
What were your first impressions of real French cuisine or Basque cuisine being in the Basque Country?
Cuisine is a very good word because exquisite. It was everything I had hoped for and more in the just the enjoyable people. The countryside is just beyond pretty.
So, did Pierre and Ellen and you do things together in the Basque Country?
Yes, we did. Not really, because you know, you know me. When you release the bird of goodbye, he escaped. So they know that. Anyhow, they know. He's forget it until we coming back. But another thing, you know, Pierre proposed me very nicely. Are you sure you want to come back with us? You know, I'll buy you a ticket if you want to take back the plane, when a regular plane. You know, that's kind of nice of him too. You know, I have to say that. And then I said, no. We're together. We go. You know, we go to die or we're going to whatever, but we go together, we go together. And so, okay, it's fine. So we're going to go back to, I think it was to the end of the August or something.
I heard you had a great welcoming committee.
Yeah.
You were right.
Qu'est-ce que vous faites? Vous réparez les accordéons?
Oui. Ah bon?
Je vous filme un petit peu.
Hein?
Je vous filme un petit peu, je vous amène avec moi en Amérique. Alors qu'est-ce que vous faites là? Oui, montrez-nous un petit peu. C'est un accordéon ça, hein?
Ah oui.
Il est complètement démonté.
On les refait tout.
Il va marcher cet accordéon encore?
Ah oui. Il a 45 ans.
Il a 45 ans? Il est presque aussi vieux que vous.
Ah non, 80 ans bientôt.
80 vous en avez?
Pas loin, oui.
Et vous continuez toujours à travailler? C'est incroyable ça.
Ah bah il faut.
C'est formidable. Vous avez réparé des accordéons toute votre vie?
Toute ma vie.
C'est formidable. Et vous continuez, vous comptez continuer comme ça le reste de votre vie.
Ben oui.
100 ans de plus.
Les jeunes ont besoin de moi.
100 ans de plus.
Ah, pas tout à fait, mais presque. À 100 ans s'il faut, oui. Tant que j'aurai ma Lucie.
And did you have a time to stop in Paris?
We did stop in Paris. We landed in Paris on the way back.
On the way back?
But,
actually, it wasn't Paris per se, it was Tours-sur-le-Noble. We went to the museum.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. We did visit.
Spent a day?
We did visit.
And what was the return trip like?
The return trip was more sad. I was tired. I was tired for everything because an abuse of alcohol and food and late because like if you know, you never been in the Basque country, now it's like a more Spanish style, you know. And my time was a little bit different, but now they look like even in France they take the system of Spanish style. That means, you know, you go out for dinner 10 o'clock and you get out 11 o'clock until 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. That's common sense, it's nothing special. And so of course when you do that every day, you got lunch and dinner, and we got a lot of cocktails. We go out from table 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and then for 7 o'clock we have to go another place and do the same thing until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And do you do that every day? Well, finally the lover talk to you and say, Jean-Paul, you better stop, my friend. And you start to be yellow and you draw out, you don't appreciate no more. No, I mean, it's true, that's the way it is. I'm very, that's the way it is. It was too much, we abused too much. So I was sick and tired the way back I was more tired than anything. And I know now I can't do that kind of stuff anymore, you know, because I can't.
So that meant you slept even more on the way back?
Oh, you're kidding, of course. Yeah, I was all the time gotta be sleeping, and thanks God I was sleeping.
And your flight back? Have any comments about your flight back and how did it go? You were happy to land in Biarritz, but you know, taking off again and going back home to Oakland?
Well, go ahead.
No, you start, but we had a slightly different routing. We went through, I think, Prestwick, Scotland, was it?
Prestwick, where they didn't want to take my credit card, and I said they had filled the airplane by then. I said, you take my credit card, or you don't get anything.
That was where we went into what we thought was going to be a weather briefing by a human, and it was just an empty room with charts, and you would walk around the room, pick the charts that applied to you, and fax your flight plan, and they'd say, "Message received. Good luck." And that was kind of an eye-opener. I think that was on our way up to, where were we going? Reykjavik.
Reykjavik.
Yes.
And then we got stuck in Reykjavik.
So yeah, and then too, the plane developed one of I think the left wing, the anti-icing, the de-ice boots. One of them was malfunctioning, so we had to try to stay out of the icing. So that was exciting. And two, you know, just being being new and asking about weather and being told maybe it will, maybe it won't, and that was an eye-opener.
And you had to make your decisions on your own.
You had to be a big boy and make your own decisions.
They weren't going to suggest, recommend. It was your choice. I heard that you made friends with a couple French pilots coming home.
That was in Reykjavik, wasn't it? Yes.
Yes, for the trip to Narsarsuaq, and we found out that they were two French airline pilots ferrying a small plane for the factory.
But another party was in Narsarsuaq when we meet first in Reykjavik. We meet two French guys, Jean-Claude Cuisine-Etienne and Alain Palazzoli. We met in the airport. And these guys, they were bringing from Toulouse, France, a brand new plane to a customer in Dallas, Texas. And we meet in Reykjavik, so we start speaking French and in and out. Of course, like us, they have to stop and and Greenland to throw up the gas.
And what type of plane were they taking back?
It was a single engine. I forget what kind of something from France, but
It's
single
called
engine.
Tobago?
Tobago, yeah, by the Cicada factory, and we befriended them and said, "Oh yeah, we're going to the same place. Let's listen to the weather reports together."
And then, well, we start to be friends very, very, very easily. And Pierre is saying nicely, "Okay, we gotta go in front of you because we're 2 inches a little bit faster, so we're supposed to be arrived maybe half hour before this guy or something like this." And then so we land in Narsarsuaq. That's another story too. Narsarsuaq, I think if I hear, it's only 4 days. You see the sun 4 days in a row. I think last time it was in 1956. Most of the time you got 1 day very beautiful, and then it's cloudy again, and cloudy and cloudy and cloudy and cloudy. So anyhow, that's the way it is. So we arrive, and let me tell you, you have to be very good and professional to land in that place. You know, it was very foggy, you know, cloudy, and then suddenly you see this huge kind of little mountains in front of you. So you have to really don't make mistake. I mean, the pilot, you know, and make a left turn and be sure you got it, and go in the landing again.
Pretty much Narsarsuaq is in the bottom of a canyon, surrounded by high hills. So unless you can know exactly where you are, going into the clouds is a good way to get killed, unless you have your key navigation point. Not a very accurate approach, but it's better than nothing. And I'll never forget, we started the approach, and we'd been pretty much above the clouds for the majority of the flight over, and I think it was like 100 miles out. The guy said, "Go ahead, you're cleared for the approach." And we'd say, "Well, how high do you want us?" And he said, "Your choice." So we were left on our own to decide what was the safe altitude, and we got to the fix that started the approach, and we started to turn away from the airport, and I looked back and I saw the airport, and I said, "Pierre, there it is. Let's land." So we made, once again, a steep turn and landed safely at the airport.
Yeah, because now I'm sure, I don't know if some people they already die because
There are a lot of fjords.
Oh, fjords, exactly, a lot of fjords. So it's okay. We make it then, and then we wait for Alan and Jean-Claude, and then after half hour after, nobody. Say, well, maybe they're a little bit more late. Anyhow, take 45 minutes, 1 hour. We start to be scared. I mean, say, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And then nothing. The rescue plane, and he go in here because he got a signal for Lufthansa. The Lufthansa make a signal to the captain who go. Check for these French guys.
A distress signal.
Distress signal, yeah, because what happened, the problem was the antenna, brand new airplane, the antenna was not working, so they can't have communication. Lucky they were close enough of Lufthansa who heard the SOS, you know, the help, and then Lufthansa sent the signal to Narsarsuaq captain, and then he go after them. So he go between the cloud because he know this area. Then he find the French plane. He say, "Follow me." They follow him, and finally they were safe. And you know when they arrive, they have 10-15 minutes gas left. That means 10-15 minutes more. That's it. Goodbye, Jean-Claude. Goodbye. Even they are professional. They work for a French company. You know, huge French company, professional pilot. Even if they can land even in the water or whatever, even in summertime, it's so cold, maybe 5, 6, 7 hours after they'll be dead.
So they were preparing for an emergency landing.
Oh yeah.
Whether it was on the ice cap or in the
that's
water.
It. And that's it. It was just 10-15 minutes left. And they used to have the regular tank of the plane, and then they take out seat, and they put a huge container, you know, with gas in case. This one was, the regular plane was no more gas, and this one was barely something like this. I mean,
the reserve tank
10-15 minutes, yeah, that's it. So I was kind of scary, and this guy was scary. And of course, when we arrived, we tried to drink no champagne because I don't think so was champagne, it's a lot of beer.
Show up, within 20 minutes, half an hour, and became an hour, and I think even like 2 hours. When, oh my God, where are they? And we're starting to get irritated because we were supposed to meet them and have dinner that night and everything and talk about our mutual adventure. But the antenna leaked and it filled with water and shorted out. So they knew relatively close to where they were, but they couldn't get the safe path. They knew they were in like 10 miles of the airport, but that's still not good enough to get you safely through the clouds. So a last-minute save. It was not a simple save by any means. So.
Bien voilà, nous sommes actuellement à 11 000 pieds en de bonnes conditions météo. Nous sommes sur une couche complètement soudée et fermée. Depuis Reykjavik, depuis 1 heure, nous survolons l'océan Atlantique. La température extérieure est de -1 degré, notre vitesse sol est de 127 nœuds. Et nous allons poursuivre ce vol, j'espère, en de bonnes conditions, en vue au moins, jusqu'à Nassau-Swag, c'est-à-dire que nous ne toucherons les côtes du Groenland que dans 4h30. Encore 4h30 à faire au-dessus de cette côte. Alors, on a mis les gilets de sauvetage en dessous les sièges parce que ça tient trop chaud. Et puis voilà, on discute, on refait le monde et l'aviation. On se prend pour Mermoz et Lindbergh, n'est-ce pas mon cher Alain?
Jean-Claude,
ouais,
quelqu'un a dit avant nous,
chaud, là.
La vie ne tient qu'à un fil.
Ouais, et ben,
eh bien, le sursis commence pour nous.
Le bloc, à quelle heure? 8h20.
Ce fut épouvantable, réellement épouvantable.
Ça filme pas.
Allez, on recommence. Hein.
Attends, on va boire un coup là, avec les amis.
Alors on expliquait tout à l'heure avant que la caméra fonctionne.
Viens.
Il faut qu'on passe à la postérité. On a failli mourir, c'était notre dernier jour de vie.
Ah, je lui dis film.
Was our last day, really? On this earth.
No, you have 3 more hours.
It's terrible. On était complètement perdus parce que les moyens de radio ne fonctionnaient pas.
It's very scary.
Il faut qu'on dise qu'on est
au
Groenland.
Yeah, we are in Greenland.
Yeah.
Huh? You don't know if you are over mountains. This is terrible.
We stayed high here.
I was sure.
12,000 and
oh Jesus Christ! It's terrible.
You know when I was following him, I did not know exactly where it was the runway. Yes. My headings were turning. He said, "All right, on the left." I said, "No." I followed him. I followed him.
We are so tired now.
Oh,
we are so. Je me suis assommé.
I'm dead.
J'ai jamais vu ça.
I'm dead.
It was really shaking that bad.
Mais non, mais une secousse, une seule.
Une seule, hein.
On s'est assommés tous les deux.
J'étais pas attaché, moi.
Moi j'étais attaché, ça n'a rien fait.
Moi, je rentre dans un
mais ça n'a rien fait, j'étais attaché.
Ah oui?
Ouais.
Bien sûr. Moi j'étais attaché. Mais c'était impossible. Mais tu vois, on essayait tout. Jesus Christ! Thank you very much. Wow. No idea. It's very bad we have no run. We hope to have. That's impossible. Impossible to have and no DME, no
then we were on it. And I asked
no VHF because we were too low. No VHF, no ADF, nothing.
Nothing.
We saw ice, a lot of ice. I prepared the cannot and my life jacket.
You're fortunate that the ice patrol here one of them. Two.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the South. Nice to see you back in one piece.
What we're doing because it's terrible. We are so nervous now.
Have a relaxing night at the hotel. I'm fine.
We are so
You come from Reykjavik today and stay overnight in Reykjavik?
Oh yeah, yes, it's that, yeah.
Where are you going?
Dallas.
Dallas.
So, but I may remove my idea because it's impossible. You know, we got the idea at 37 miles from
37 miles?
Yeah. Ice. I look at c'est ça que je veux savoir. Il y a des gens qui descendent. Mais qu'est-ce que tu veux faire? Qu'est-ce que tu respectes? C'est ça le problème. Que faire? On aura de l'eau, le brouillard et la couche au-dessus. Plus aucun moyen. Bon, tu longes le truc, ça va un moment, mais oh, tu as vu un peu la distance qu'il y a ici? Bon, à 150 mètres de paix, les 3 heures d'autonomie qui nous restent, je lui dis vite, balance un message de détresse parce qu'on va crever. Et pourtant, je ne suis pas pessimiste, je suis optimiste de nature. Moi, j'ai dit, putain, mais au Groenland, hein, tu vois, la première fois que tu viens avec de la glace partout du brouillard et sans aucun moyen de repère, ben tu dis, c'est cuit là. It was terrible, really. Me, moi je suis science, so crazy. But
Only once!
it's terrible. Never. The last time, my father said to me, why to go?
For fun.
Yes.
For the
Why?
adventure.
It was so. It's okay for you. All is okay. Why? Why do you go?
Why do you have to do that?
Jesus Christ. Si je raconte ça à mon père, il me fait une baffe d'abord. Oh, ça fait mal. Le film. Parce que là, de l'Est, on l'a eu à 37 nautiques.
Allez Jean-Claude, t'es vivant, va.
Ah, Lyon, putain, oui. Ah, moi je suis mort là.
J'ai envie de
hurler des conneries, alors celle-là.
T'es un mort vivant.
Je vais trouver un coin où je puisse hurler parce qu'on peut plus.
Putain, tu leur dis, allez, tu leur dis, tu appelles, tu viens, tu es en détresse. Tu es en détresse.
Mais oui, merde, on est en détresse, on va pas mourir.
Ouais, bah oui.
Alors ils sont partis d'où
Je remets les clés
Ils sont partis d'où ceci? D'ici?
Oui, on les a appelés. Et on a dit on est en détresse, venez vite.
Pas d'ici, hein, ils sont pas partis d'ici.
Ah bon?
Julienal.
Ah, Julienal, oui. Parce qu'on les a pas, on est là.
Tu sais que c'est un miracle qu'ils soient là, hein, ces mecs. En fait, Dieu merci, tu vois, avant de les voir, on
a
reçu.
les remplir les papiers, mais je crois pas qu'ils vont faire.
J'ai demandé au gars, il m'a dit non, ça fait partie du business. Je vais te dire que la secrétaire, je vais lui en facturer un match.
Attention, c'est filmé.
Ah oui, c'est filmé.
Je coupe.
Yes, and we figured, well, okay, let's gas up and head out. But it turns out the weather forecasts were for clouds and icing, and we said, well, let's not depart this afternoon in these bad conditions. Let's spend one day here, which, as the story goes, it turned out into 2 or 3 days, and I believe we stayed at an old military barracks, and there's
They were hotels.
Hotels, yes.
They were hotels, not barracks.
In word only, and to save money, we all 3 of us crowded into one small room, and I remember when we went to pay the bill, he says, "Oh, that's per person, not per room."
Voilà l'hôtel vu de l'extérieur. Une petite merveille. Spartiate, efficace.
Oui, je suis très heureux ici. Bon, moi ce que je vais faire, je vais arriver jusqu'à l'avion, il va la même écouter, on va la
Voilà un truc à moral.
Comment?
Un truc moral.
Oui, oui. Il y a aussi les esquimaux.
Moi j'ai fait déjà.
C'est vraiment spécial.
Tu veux le filmer là? Ouais. Mais moi je veux dire une chose, c'est un petit coin qui est un peu pourri parce que j'arrive de Biarritz et j'ai un très bon souvenir des vacances là-bas, surtout que je viens du sud en plus. Alors là je me sens complètement déboussolé, c'est le cas de dire. Nous sommes dans le nord, et on a des glaçons en pagaille mais il n'y a rien à voir. Alors ça me fait chier. À bientôt les gars.
Non, il a les ras-de-bol, tu sais, ras-de-bol. Ouais. D'entendre parler français et puis il était content de partir de France.
Moi je suis si content d'entendre parler français.
Et maintenant il se dit putain, je suis tombé sur deux Français de nouveau.
Yeah, they go. It's terrible. You are always with French people. You are fada, baby. Fada.
On est si content de travailler français.
You must learn. It's absolutely indispensable.
Indispensable. It's absolutely necessary.
Necessary for you.
On a rien, c'est un bonhomme ici. Va doucement quand tu tournes.
Ouais.
Ça va te faire des récits.
I got you, Al.
Yes.
Regarde, prends les moustaches à Pierre, il adore que les moustaches.
Big mustache, hein? Big mustache.
Oh yeah, c'est une big mustache ici.
Fresh people.
Voilà, deuxième jour d'attente. Il y a un appareil qui vient de se poser. Il y a eu quelques avions qui se sont posés ce matin, mais juste au minima. Il y avait juste que 1500 pieds de plafond, juste. Le 727 qui devait venir de Reykjavik n'a pas pu venir depuis 3 jours. Deuxième jour.
1989.
Voilà, au fond là-bas, c'est la ville. C'est la ville de Narsarsuaq, il y a les 4 maisons, l'aéroport, et voilà, notre ami Alain.
Au fond,
qui a froid.
Oui, il fait 5 degrés, je signale, et on est fin août.
Et ce qui pleut, c'est de la neige fondue. Hein.
Oui, et des icebergs.
Voilà, voilà la piste. Voilà le fond du fjord, d'un des petits morceaux du fjord, qui est bien éclairé d'ailleurs là-bas. Il y a du blanc. Il peut y avoir des trous par endroits. On ne sait pas ce qu'il y a au-dessus. Voilà ici les icebergs superbes.
Well, even before Goose Bay, what did you do in Narsarsuaq for 3 days?
I don't remember now.
Walked around, went to the weather guy.
Look at icebergs floating around. You know, yeah. Sometimes they were yellow, sometimes they were blue. Sometimes it was fun.
Fishing?
Oh, talking about fishing, that's an unbelievable part too. The captain, I forget his name. Very, very nice guy. Very nice guy. He invited all of us. That means Pierre. We were 3, 4, 5. 5 people at his house to eat trout. And he said, well, let's go fishing. I looked to this guy and said, uh-oh, if we're going fishing now, maybe we're going to eat, maybe not. Sure enough. But I was not with them. I stayed in the airport, in the hotel, with one of the guys. I think it was Jean-Claude or Alejandra. And then Pierre and Alan, I think they go with the captain fishing. And they told me that's just unbelievable. This guy go and play up one place, he take the pool, he was talking, got away. He got 5 or 6 fish, exactly what he needed, no more. It's like if you were a huge swimming pool with full of fish, They know that because so rich and fish and everything. But he take what he need, he come back, we go in the house and we got a beautiful dinner and everything of the family. And it was very, very nice of him. I wish I can see this guy again. And I told him, if you come in California, believe me, we're going to take care of you. And of course, nothing happened yet.
He's right. We had a good dinner at the captain's house.
Yeah. Fresh trout, huh?
Yeah.
We were not that many things to do there, and we were really, really wanting to go. And finally, there was an opening in the weather where it was not perfect, but safe enough to depart. And I remember the flight we flew to.
So you left Narsarsuaq happily.
We made a flyover. You want to have a last souvenir. You remember?
Yeah.
We did a flyover.
Yeah. Took a look at it and said goodbye to Goose Bay. Goose Bay we went to, right? It was a very rainy approach into Goose Bay, and we just at the last moment cleared the clouds, and there was Goose Bay. So that was also a great feeling.
And another time was on the way back. I think I don't remember. It was in Goose Bay, Terre-Neuve. I mean, you say Newfoundland. Newfoundland. Then we arrived. It was night, and then it was raining. But I'm talking raining. Oh my God, unbelievable! And then I see the airport coming straight in front over there. Of course, I was in the back looking like this, and then I see Pierre. It was kind of pressure. I can see the pilot, you know. And then I see the how you say la pista, the
landing.
The landing, you know, it was going left, and I was going right. I say, oh my God, that's it. We're gonna lay the land in the in backward. And then I was kind of scared. And a lot of rain, a lot. So finally, I don't see the
landing strip.
The landing strip no more. Then suddenly I see it again, and then I don't see it no more, and then I see it again, and finally, she said, all the wiper blade going very fast, and Pierre very professional. They keep that very in control. But when we were arriving, to Goose Bay, you have to do so much left and right and turn around and have the okay from the control. So I don't know too much. I don't know nothing, matter of fact. So it was kind of scary for me, and but the rain scared me quite a bit. Yeah, I have to say that.
And then there was Bangor.
Yeah.
Bangor, Maine, where actually we had to go through customs.
Yeah, we're back in the U.S. So
I'll change your.
Funny what you remember, you know. You got an oil change.
And then we went back to Syracuse, I guess. Scottsbluff, Nebraska. That was for the second time on our way back. Wendover, Utah.
Yeah.
Wendover, Utah. That's an Air Force base.
A huge. I think it's deserted. I think we parked the airplane inside the hangar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that was the trip.
And then Oakland.
You smile?
Well,
oh my God.
Yeah, you have to admit it. It's a long trip. Yeah. We're home.
We were home.
There's no place like home.
No.
Really. And happy to be home.
Very happy.
And he smiles again.
But you know, that airplane really was good to us, huh?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Very extremely good airplane.
Ready for another trip?
The planes are always ready for trips.
Now, 23 years later, now we're making this video for your memories, but you know, you've got grandchildren, you got your family.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like them to know from your experience?
I don't know. I really don't know how they're gonna react. I mean, how they would react.
Have they ever talked? Have you ever talked to them?
We don't talk about flying that much when we're together. My wife doesn't really, is not really crazy about flying, and I don't know.
Marcel used to fly.
Marcel flew, yeah, for a while, and then he quit. Why? I don't know.
And what about you?
It's still one of those things where, you know, in the aviation world, it's still one of the big things to do to this day. And we can raise our hand and say, yes, we did it.
Yeah.
And it's just like the few lucky people that have been to the space station. You know, it's $20, $50 million, but there's only so many that have ever done that. And someday in the future, maybe a trip to the space station will be common, but now it's a very select, small group. And to this day, we still have fond memories of that trip. And we still, to this day, would like to do it again. So.
Hint, hint, Pierre. I'd still like to do it again.
Yeah, I like to ask Al. You know, let's go back to France, and what I like to hear is okay.
Is Jean-Paul like to hear okay?
Jean-Paul was the best passenger we ever had.
Our own bodyguard.
If he would wear skirts, I would say he's the best stewardess we ever had.
Good passenger. Yeah, pretty quiet.
Sure.
Very nice.
Snored a little bit sometimes.
Oh yeah, I have to take care of the bowl of scotch too. All right, thank you very much for the video.
So, are you guys ready to fly to France again?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Bon job, Pierrot.